In this video, we're going over the top 5 best neighborhoods to live in on the west side in Los Angeles. How we doing, guys? My name is Darren Kriz. I was born and raised in this beautiful city of LA, and I'm a real estate agent helping people every single day buy, sell, and invest in property here in Los Angeles. And on this channel, we're going over all things Los Angeles on a weekly basis, so if you're interested, hit the subscribe button to stay tuned for more. So when looking at the west side, we're going with everything west of the 405 freeway, southernmost point being LAX, and everything in between that and the Pacific Ocean, not including Malibu, because that'll just get an entire video in its own. Also, all 5 of these in order are strictly based off my opinion as a local Angelino and a real estate agent who spent a lot of time in each of these individual cities. So let's just get on with it. Number 5, we are going with the biggest and most well-known city on this list, and that is Santa Monica. Santa Monica is a great place to hang out on the weekends, go to the beach, hang out on Santa Monica Pier, 3rd Street Promenade. But to specifically live in, I'm gonna have to put Santa Monica as number 5 on this list. So it's definitely not the worst area to live in on the west side. It's very hectic. You get a city vibe from being in Santa Monica, more younger of a crowd as well. But because it is a city, because it is Santa Monica, there will be a lot of tourists. It's gonna be hectic pretty much every single day. So it might not feel like the most homey location to live in on the west side. It's a great place to go visit every now and then on the weekends, I would say, in my personal opinion. So you have Main Street in Santa Monica, a big street full of bars and restaurants. You might find yourself enjoying on the weekends. There's also a 4th of July parade that takes place every year on Main Street. As you keep going down Main Street, that entire area south of Santa Monica is known as Ocean Park, which is a very homey place to live aside from being in the middle of the city in a nicer apartment complex. Ocean Park is known as more of the local side in Santa Monica. It's right between Venice, and there are several smaller duplexes and triplexes that you can live in with a yard to give yourself more of a residential single-family home feel. Santa Monica does extend a little bit more inland, and you'll find a demographic of a lot of people in their 20s, early 30s living in Santa Monica that want that lifestyle of being on the beach, being in the city, and you get all of that here. If you're into that fast-paced lifestyle but still want to be close to the beach and relax by the palm trees, enjoy the nice 70-degree weather every day, definitely look into living in Santa Monica. Let's just go right on to number 4 in this list, and that is Mar Vista. Mar Vista is a residential neighborhood just inland of Santa Monica between Venice Beach and between the 405 freeway. It's mainly just a quiet residential neighborhood. You can still bike to Santa Monica in about 5 to 10 minutes or Venice Beach. It's very low-key, family-oriented. There's a Little League field there, several parks, dog parks, local coffee shops to hang out at. It's way more quiet being in residential Mar Vista than being in the heart of Santa Monica or going more north into Beverly Hills, West Hollywood. If you're looking for a quiet, more residential neighborhood, but still want to be a little bit closer to the hectic vibe of Santa Monica, if you want to get away from the kids every now and again, or bring the kids to the Santa Monica Pier, there's something for everyone there on the west side, but I would highly recommend Mar Vista for a younger family. There's also several new construction homes that are being built in Mar Vista in the $3 to $4 million price range, but this is still one of the more least expensive residential neighborhoods to live in on the west side. So like I said, if you are an introvert and like it to be more quiet, more of a slow-paced lifestyle, you want to save money and not be in the more expensive parts of LA, but still want to have that beautiful ocean breeze, then Mar Vista's for you. But let's go to number 3. And guys, if you like this video, hit the like button kindly. It helps out the algorithm a ton. I will be posting specific videos, individual videos of every single one of these cities in the future to go more in depth, to show you guys what they really are all about. These are just my top 5 favorite places to live on the west side, but let's continue on. Number 3. Okay, number 3 on my list is Marina Del Rey. So Marina Del Rey has the world's largest man-made harbor that can hold up to about 5,300 boats. It's also known for its several yacht club, high-rise apartment and condo complexes, and nice waterfront restaurants. There's an area of Marina Del Rey known as the Strand that's a 22-mile paved concrete path that extends the length of the beach and is almost entirely just traffic-free, just a lot of bikers and people hanging out at the beach over there. So Marina is definitely quieter than Santa Monica, and the demographic there, I think you have a mix. You have a lot of younger people and a lot of older people that maybe just own a yacht, want to live the boat life on the water next to Marina Del Rey. So it's not just a fast-paced vibe. I think you get both. You get some fast-paced if you go closer to the ocean, and you're walking distance to Venice as well if you want even more of a younger, fast-paced environment. But you're also super close to LAX, so a lot of older business professionals will hunker down in Marina Del Rey because you're about 10-minute drive from LAX if you need to travel for work a lot. and then come back quickly to enjoy the privacy of your own house with ocean views. Number 2 on the list is Brentwood. So Brentwood is located in the northern half of the west side, just west of the 405 freeway, begins on Wilshire Boulevard and extends all the way up into the mountains above Sunset, all the way up to the Getty Museum. Brentwood has several markets, such as the Brentwood Country Marts. There are several shops and small places to eat if you're looking for Mexican, a pizza place, some burgers. Whatever you want, they have it in this mart. And it's not that big either, it's very small. They also have one of my favorite ice cream spots there in that Country Mart, so if you're in the area, you gotta go check that out. Another place I just realized, Brentwood has one of my favorite cafes as well. It's called Literati Cafe. It's a great place. They have free Wi-Fi. I've done a lot of work here, but they also have a bar area and they have a lunch spot, breakfast there. It's a big restaurant, so you can do your work in peace, or I've had several meetings here as well. And the vibe is cool. The ambiance is nice, a lot of greenery, a lot of vinery. But so more into Brentwood. Brentwood has 2 country clubs. One being Riviera Country Club, where they host the PGA Genesis Open every year. I'm a big golf fan. I was actually there this year myself. It was an unbelievable experience. So once a year, every February they have it. Highly recommend going to that if you enjoy golf at all whatsoever. You don't even have to enjoy golf. You can just go have a good time, walk around, just a full day of hanging out with your friends. And they also have the Brentwood Country Club. So the heart of Brentwood runs basically through San Vicente Boulevard, which is one of the main streets in LA. They have a restaurant row on San Vicente Boulevard with a ton of little spots you can enjoy. High-end restaurants up down to Chipotle. Brentwood's also such a dog-friendly community. At any time of the day, if you're going around the neighborhoods of Brentwood, you're gonna see many people walking their dogs. There's a local dog park on Barrington that I've spent some time at. And Barrington has a lot of apartment buildings on both sides. If you're driving up Barrington, you're gonna see several different apartment buildings. In that dog park, at any hour of the day, you're gonna see probably dozens of different dogs running around, having fun. I gotta bring my dog there, it's been a few years. So Brentwood's basically made up of several apartment buildings, condo buildings, and then several high-end houses as well. If we go above Sunset Boulevard in Brentwood, you're gonna see higher-end homes going all the way up to $50 million. And you're gonna get views of the ocean. You're also gonna get views of just the hills, the mountains. There's a lot of streets, a lot of areas north of Sunset that don't even feel like you're in Los Angeles in Brentwood, which is why a lot of celebrities live there. Some notables being Arnold Schwarzenegger, LeBron James, Tobey Maguire. Travis Scott has an unreal house he purchased a couple years ago, and Scooter Braun. All insane houses as well. Speaking of insane houses, a couple of weeks ago, I was at one of my favorite houses in LA. I would have to put it as top 5. I was invited to see this house. It was $48 million. And you guys might have seen it if you're on YouTube browsing around. There is a Kobe Bryant custom themed basketball court there. Here's a clip of me taking a shot at the court. It didn't go as I was planning. So Brentwood is also named one of the best neighborhoods to live in Los Angeles, also one of the best neighborhoods to raise a family in Los Angeles, according to niche.com in 2020. It easily could have been number 1 on this list, but number 1 is basically very similar to Brentwood with a little bit different of a twist on it. It was definitely a tough decision for me, but I gotta give it to the latter, and that is number 1, the best neighborhood to live in on the west side of Los Angeles is the Pacific Palisades. So as I said, the Pacific Palisades is very similar to Brentwood, being that it's just west of Brentwood and extends from Sunset Boulevard very north up into the hills, extends all the way along PCH on the west coast, and goes north into the Santa Monica Mountains. There are several residential neighborhoods in the Palisades, mostly making up of high-end single-family homes. From my experience, it's mostly family-oriented. You're gonna see a lot of people with money because the low end in the Palisades is a lot more expensive than the low ends in like Santa Monica or Mar Vista. It's bordered by Malibu as well, and if you've even driven around the Pacific Palisades, you're gonna understand why it is not the cheapest place to live in. But that being said, also if you're driving around the Palisades, you're gonna understand why you might want to live there yourself. It's got to be one of the cleanest cities in all of Los Angeles. It's rare to find any homelessness or disformities on any street. Just driving through the little downtown area of the Palisades, and I say downtown because it is very small, just like an outdoor mall. They have a farmer's market right next to that. But that small area will honestly make you feel like you're in a movie set. It doesn't even make you feel like you're in Los Angeles whatsoever. It's got a very similar vibe to some parts of Orange County, some parts of San Diego, but you're still 5 minutes away from the Pacific Ocean if you're living around that area, and just about 20 minutes to Beverly Hills. Everything just looks so well maintained, every building, every park. In some cities such as like West Hollywood, yes, you'll find some nice $5 million modern homes, but between those modern homes, you're gonna see older Spanish duplexes that were built in the 1930s. In the Palisades, you're not gonna get any of that. Every home in most every neighborhood is gonna be a nice, clean looking, large home. So the Palisades Village, which is in that downtown area, you're gonna get all the shops, all the restaurants that you'd wanna walk around in. There's a few great hiking trails in the Palisade with unbelievable ocean views, some of the best. You can see all the way to Santa Monica. On clear days, you can see all the way down to SoFi Stadium. I always use SoFi Stadium as a reference if you're looking at views in LA, whether you're in the Hollywood Hills or so, because that is a lot farther than you might think from looking at the views. But the ocean just looks so vast, so majestic from some of the hiking trails in the Palisades. I'll throw a couple photos up here for you guys. It also goes all the way up to the Getty Villa in the Palisades, which is a museum along the coast that displays ancient Roman and Greek art in a recreated Roman house. So like I said, summing it all up, the Palisades is basically a beachside community in Los Angeles that doesn't even make you feel like you're in Los Angeles. Super different from Santa Monica, has a completely different vibe from Venice, Santa Monica, Marina Del Rey. I just had to put it at number 1 on the list. If you're looking to raise a family, I feel like the Pacific Palisades would be the most luxurious area to move out to. I feel like more celebrities live in Brentwood just because you're right next to the freeway, it's easier to get around. As far as the Palisades goes, you're never gonna really visit the Palisades unless you have something specific that you were planning on doing over there. You don't really pass it to go anywhere except driving through PCH from Malibu to Santa Monica. But this is a reason why it's so well kept. You don't have any traffic coming in and out. Most people wandering around those areas are pretty much just gonna be your local neighborhood friends and families. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. The top 5 best neighborhoods to live in on the West Side in Los Angeles. If you like this video, hit the like button down below. Also subscribe if you're not subscribed and you want more informational videos on Los Angeles on a weekly basis. I'm gonna be posting several videos coming on this channel, also individual videos on each city I specifically talked about in this video and in videos in the past. You're gonna see those. I'm gonna go more in depth with the history, the restaurants, things to do, places to see in LA. As I said, I'm a real estate agent helping people every single day buy, sell, rent, and invest in property here in LA. So if you have any questions at all, my information is down in the description below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.